10 people, asking them, how do you expect someone who's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder to behave?
I would expect them to behave like happy 1 minute, and then maybe like something happens and their emotions go like a roller coaster up and down.
Illness, change of moods, like low to high, high to low.
Jumping between different manic states, extreme highs versus extreme lows.
Definitely mood swings. Someone with depression.
I would expect them to have highs and lows, manics, and depressive states.
So when you hear that someone has bipolar disorder, how do you think they would behave?
My mom had bipolar disorder, and growing up with her, she was always sleeping. Sometimes at night, at like 2 in the morning, my dad would wake up and he would find outside in the backyard. So I'm guessing that was a manic state. The depressive state is probably never leaving bed. That's of course if you don't take your meds. Somebody who is on meds, I don't think they would act as severe. I think they would be very different, very creative people, just having different mindsets about things.
You would see their mood change suddenly. There might be some reactions that are very uncommon, like you would think they would be happy and they end up being very angry. And sometimes there's no explanation as to why they act like they act.
Questionable behavior.
Medication and therapy.
Very irrational and have different moods.
The reality of bipolar disorder is that it affects everyone differently. Bipolar disorder does include manic and depressive episodes. Manic episodes include impulsiveness, lack of sleep, and inflated self-esteem. Depressive episodes can include loss of interest, loss of energy, and recurrent thoughts of death. To be diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder, the criteria is to have at least 1 manic episode, meaning you do not have to have a depressive episode to be diagnosed as bipolar. Also, the misconception that bipolar 1 disorder is more severe than bipolar 2 is untrue. The difference is that bipolar 2 disorder includes a depressive episode and a hypomanic episode instead of 1 manic episode. Bipolar disorder can be rapid cycling between the highs and lows or slow cycling and even have periods of stability. But bipolar disorder is not constant mood swings. Bipolar disorder also affects a huge number of the population, with 10 million Americans being diagnosed. This number could be higher due to the fact that many are scared to come out and get help due to the stigma around this mental illness. Bipolar disorder also affects genders and those from different backgrounds almost equally. In Canada and Argentina, a study had been done questioning those who have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. The question that had been asked is if they have ever felt stigmatized due to their mental illness. The results showed, despite that they are very different countries, they felt the stigma equally. Those who have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder feel self-stigmatized as well, meaning they believe that the social stigma is a representation of themselves. They believe that the average person is afraid of those who have mental illness, and that this stigma may make one feel as an outcast from society and affect relationships with friends and family. Many people do not know that bipolar disorder is a lifelong disorder, and that help is out there and it can be managed. I started off my video doing interviews asking how others would expect one who has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder to behave. And through my responses, I realized that stigma comes from the fear of the unknown. The only way to decrease this stigma is through informing others and starting a conversation. And through this video, I hope I have started one. If you or anyone you know is struggling, you can reach out to the crisis hotline or text the crisis text line.